Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday the 7th of May 2023. In today's Millwall news, the big match is tomorrow. We will preview that, but first, we've got a couple of stories from the Southern News. So, we knew the frustration they had. Jake Cooper and Millwall fans ahead of playoff showdown against Blackburn Rovers. The Den is a sellout on Bank Holiday Monday as everything is on the line for the Lions. Jake Cooper can't wait for Mill's final day playoff showdown against Blackburn Rovers as he praised Lions fans for their backing in the push for the top six. Mill are aiming for the win that will secure their highest league finish since 2002 in the playoff spot, meaning that they could be just 3 games away from a place in the Premier League. Cooper knows it is undoubtedly Millwall's biggest game since their return to the Championship in 2017, but that pressure is something they are going to embrace. It's going to be a great occasion now on Bank Holiday Monday, Cooper told me then. We've got a sold out den and it's going to be in our hands. It's going to be a great occasion for the football club. It's one we're relishing and one we're looking forward to. We can't wait and we're ready to get to that Blackburn. The supporters will obviously play a big part. More than 1,200 of them travelled up to both Wigan and Blackpool. Monday's game has been sold out since April the 22nd. Wow! The fans desperate to see their team secure a place in the top 6. Cooper believes that they deserve a huge amount of praise for the way that they have followed the team throughout the season, especially when things have not gone their way. They've been brilliant, Cooper said. They've turned up in their numbers in the last few months. It's been amazing for us, and we knew the frustration they had coming into this weekend at Blackpool off of the back of the Wigan game. We all share that as a football club, and we were just happy that we could repay them after a long journey come up to Blackpool. Regardless of whether or not they achieve their goal, this season has been a big step in the right direction for everyone at Millwall. In recent campaigns, they have been the ones that have chased the teams in the top 6, but they are now being chased. Ooh, showing a marked improvement. That's what it's about, moving the club forward, Cooper said. We're in a great position now with 1 game to go, and we achieved something really special for this football club. That's what the whole aim is about now. We've got 1 more game. This is probably a great time to find form off the back of a tricky run. I think it suits us knowing that our backs have been up against the wall and we can really turn it around now. With these last 2 games, hopefully we can take that into the Blackburn game. Indeed, hopefully. And now this, also from the Southern News, about Gary Rowett. Gary Rowett stresses Millwall know what they need to do to achieve their playoff dream. The Lions to secure all 3 points to avoid relying on results elsewhere on the final day of the campaign. Millwall know that they have to take care of business if they are to secure a top 6 finish on the final day of the season, Gary Rowett said. The Lions head into their clash with Blackburn Rovers, holding a slender lead on the chasing pack, but a disappointing result coupled with the teams beneath them winning could see them drop down the table. However, a win will be enough to see them over the line regardless of what happens elsewhere, setting up for a huge finale at the Den on Monday. Rowett knows that his side can still qualify for the playoffs without beating Rovers, but the risk of relying on other teams to drop points is too high. Sunderland and West Brom are both ready to pounce, meaning that Millwall really need to pick up to make sure of their shot at promotion. There are so many permutations, he told News. There might be a scenario where we don't have to win and we might still get in the playoffs. Our mentality has always been the same. We have to take care of business ourselves. We go into the last game, regardless of whatever happens with any other results, knowing that we finish where we finish if we win the game. It's a big 90 minutes. There are a lot of things that can happen in 90 minutes. And I've seen results going your way and then someone scores 2 goals in the last 3 minutes. I've seen results go your way and the opposition equalise in the last minute. There are so many things going into it. All you can do is take out the occasion and the atmosphere and everything like that, and just focus on what you've got to do as a team to win any game. I don't think it really matters what game it is. You still have to have the same attitude and the same focus. The players know it's an important game. They know how big it is. You can say it until you're blue in the face, but they know what's on the game. For me, it's about focusing on what we can do. Some of it will come down to using the crowd's energy to get a little extra zip in our performance physically. But it's about being calm. You can't play a team like Blackburn at any point and go out all out attacking gung-ho and leave loads of spaces. There's so many elements to the game. You've still got to have a balanced performance. You've still got to get out on the front foot, and you've still got to deal with the players they've got. The only way you can do that is really focus on the small details of what it is that's got us here and what we're going to do. we've got to be calm and enjoy the game. You got to remember that it's an enjoyable game. It's a big game, and that's what players want to play in. That's what the managers, staff want to be involved in. For both sets of fans, teams, fans, and staff, it's a great game to be part of. Unfortunately, there's usually one winner and one loser in terms of the top 6 race. And we've got to do everything we can to try and be the winners. Indeed, you want to be a winner, not a loser, and it is that clear cut. It is that binary. If we win the game, we get in. If we don't win the game, we're almost certainly going to drop out because there are 2 teams chasing. And more on that. So, Gary Rowett and the players seem to know what they need to do. Well, what do they actually need to do? Well, let's have a look at this from sportsmole.co.uk, which is the clearest way I can find it with the permutations. So this is the playoff race going into the last round of fixtures of the season. This is the only thing that's still alive in the championship. The playoff promotion places are set, the promotion places are set, and the relegation places are set. So it's just the playoff places that are still to play for. 2 of them. 2 of the other ones are set. Luton and Middlesbrough are in the playoffs, guaranteed. So Coventry going to the final day in the strongest position. Their 3-point lead over 7th place means that they simply need to avoid defeat on the final day to guarantee a playoff spot. Although they do face a difficult test away to Middlesbrough side already sure to finish 4th. So yeah, they could lose and we might actually jump up, or they could lose, we could draw, and then one of the other teams jumps up and jumps above us, but we stay where we are because Coventry fall out. So Millwall currently occupying the final playoff spot and also going into the final day in a strong position with a 2-point lead over the chasing pack. Although a draw would bring goal difference into proceedings if Sunderland or West Brom also win. Victory, though, would ensure them of a place in the top 6, but defeat would ensure that they miss out and bring Blackburn into the equation. We don't want that. Sunderland are the best place to the chasing pack and would finish in the playoffs if they win and Millwall fail to win. As long as West Brom do not win by 4 more goals than Sunderland do. The Black Cats would also secure a top 6 finish if they win and Coventry lose, as they would be at least level on goal difference with a better goals for tally than Coventry. Like I said, so if Coventry, so it might be we get saved by Middlesbrough beating Coventry. So it could be, I don't know, I'm not saying this is the thing, but Middlesbrough, what do they do today? They put out a lesser side, they put out a strong side. Who do they want in the playoffs? Do they want Millwall? Do they want Coventry? Do they want Sunderland? That would be a pretty big playoff final. Sunderland, Middlesbrough, North East Derby, but sadly they'll all have to travel down a long way to Wembley to get there, but it is what it is, isn't it? So West Brom are likely to need help from elsewhere to stand any chance of making the playoffs. First and foremost, they need to win themselves, while they would also need both Millwall and Sunderland to fail to win, or for Millwall to fail to win and to beat Swansea by 4 more goals than Sunderland beat Preston by, which is unlikely because West Brom are playing Swansea, and Swansea just do ticky-tacky between the centre-backs at the back, and they drag the time out of the game. There's not a lot of game time in a game versus Swansea. So there is also the potential if they win and Coventry lose, although that will require a 5-goal swing for one of Millwall or Sunderland results to go their way too. Blackburn are the final team still in contention, but their vastly inferior goal difference is negative. It means that they would realistically need to beat Millwall and hope that Sunderland and West Brom both lose to sneak into the playoffs. So there you go. Those are the permutations there. You understand that? Okay, now let's move on to the game. Watching it. Obviously, it's on Sky Sports, which means the options to watch it are limited. Okay. Okay. I thought it was okay. Okay. Moving on. Here are the. This is from liveonsat.com. These are the channels around the world where you can watch it. Obviously, it's on a Monday. It might be a bank holiday Monday for us. Well, by the way, whose idea was it to have 2 bank holidays Mondays in a row? Because that is probably the most stupid fucking idea ever. Absolute stupid idea. Everyone done their dough last week. So yeah, that was a really stupid idea to do that. But yeah, so it's bank holiday for us, but around the world, although it's a different time zone, so I guess in some places it might be pretty decent to have a game on a Monday night. You can see it's Arena Sport free in Croatia, Bein Connect Mina, Bein Sports Mina English free. It's on Sky Sports Football UK, Sky Sports main event, and Sport Digital TV HD. And you may be able to get it on certain match passes around the world, depending on what country you live in. Now, obviously, at the start of the week, Sky announced that there would be a Millwall Blackburn Rovers game would be the game that was on Sky. Since then, for some reason, as I thought it was a bit weird that they only had one game. They have obviously announced that the Preston game will be on Sky and the Swansea game will also be on Sky. So I don't know what that was about. Whether they were waiting for more ticket sales to happen, whether the clubs would agree it once they hit a certain amount of tickets sold. But yeah, both of those, all three of these games are now on Sky, on various Sky channels. So let's get into the preview. Here we go. Historical record. Let's dust off the files and have a look. Well, I'll tell you, it is not pretty. Not pretty at all. You can see highlighted as the home games. Now, overall, you can see versus Blackburn Rovers, we have only beaten them 11 times. That's home and away out of, 49. So 1 in 4 games we win against them, home and away. Now, let's have a look at the home games. So first up, 1938, we beat them 4-1. Nice, started off well, but then we drew, we lose. We don't play them again until the 60s at home, 1967, that's a draw, then a loss, and then another draw. But then we beat them in 1970, 2 times in 1970 we beat them, so they must have been having a poor season that year. And then we lose in 1976, and let me do that so you can see it better. Then another draw in 1977, 78 a draw, we lose in the FA Cup, 1979 2-1, so that must have been third round because it was in January. 1979, beat them 1-0. 1985, we lose 1-0. So it's a game we lose or draw a lot at home at the Den. This is not. If you wanted to pick a game where you needed to win to get into the playoffs and an opponent, it will not be Blackburn Rovers. It simply wouldn't. And then we've obviously got the big game here. Biggest defeat, 4-1, 1988, 7th of May. Well, that was, I think that was after we got promoted, so that was the last game of the season. Nobody gave a fuck because we were already going up. So, yeah, happy days. Everyone was celebrating anyway. And then we beat them again in 1991, 2-1 win. And then we go back to losing, 3-1. FA Cup, 2002, we lose 1-0. Obviously, at this stage, they're in the Premier League, or Championship, and we're in League One, so we're only playing in the Cup. Obviously, the big game, Danish 2, famous Blackburn Rovers, where we drew at home and then the replay 3 days later. Remember FA Cup replays? Do you remember when they had them? We beat them 1-0 with Danish 2 screamer, 1-0. And that's what he does. That is what he does. But yeah, then 23rd of April, 2013, we lose 2-1. You've seen the pattern here. It's not a game. This isn't the game that we win a lot at home. I think so far, what's it been? 5 wins at home. Blackburn Rovers. So the last win we had was the third game ago, July 2020. So July. So that was obviously COVID season. We beat them 1-0. But before then, at home, we didn't beat them until 1991. So just going through the games, was it 3 wins, 4, 5, 6 wins? We've beaten them 6 times at home, and you can see where it's highlighted in yellow. That's how many times we played them at home. So yeah, like I said, absolutely fucking horrible record against Blackburn Rovers at home, which is weird because they've got a long way to travel. And you can see in the reverse fixture, we struggle up there. We lose a lot up at Ewood Park, so I don't know what they do. Maybe they, I don't know what they do. Maybe they like getting out of Blackburn because Blackburn's a shithole, so maybe they relish the long journey down to London. I don't know. London's becoming a bit of a shithole right now at the moment as well, isn't it? Yeah, so you can see there, this is not the team or the opponent you would want for a must-win game. Yeah, not good at all. So let's have a look at this from whoscored.com. So here we go. Last 6 games at the Den, all in the Championship. Doesn't look good. We won 1, as in 2020, July 2020, as I told you, COVID season. We've drawn 3 and we've lost 2. So we haven't lost. We've drawn more than we've lost. They've scored 9 goals. We've scored 6. And each team has had a red card. What happened in 2014? A bit of a terror, huh? So yeah, clean sheets. We kept 1 clean sheet, but we win. I think we might have to keep another clean sheet to today's game. And they've kept 2 clean sheets in 2019 and 2021, which is always really annoying when you're at a home game and you don't score. To lose and to not score is a double whammy. So here's the form, but does it really matter? I mean, does form go out the window on these big games, or is it ever important? As you can see here, right. So this is the table. Let's go to form table first. So they are 18th. They haven't won a game in their last 6. They've drawn 5. So they like to draw. Now they like to draw. At the start of the season, they played like 25 games without drawing, which is weird. But now they seem to relish in the draw. Well, a draw's not going to do it for them today. But will they try to keep it a draw for as long as possible and try and sneak a little win at the end? I don't know. They snuck a draw in their last game against Luton. They were losing, so we certainly need to play until the fat lady sings and it's all over. Don't stop for a minute, because I think they will crack on. So in the last 6 games, we've won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. We've scored 6, so only averaging 1 a game. Conceded 6. That's averaging 1 a game as well. They're similar, but they've scored 1 less goal, which gives them a minus goal difference over the last 6 games. If we go back and look at, so obviously you know the table, we're 6, we're 9. What about the home and away table? So, we're 7th in the table at home. Obviously 1 game to play. They're 4th, so if we win today, we won't go above them, we'll get 42 points. 10 points. We've only conceded 18 goals at home, so I think we're definitely going to need another clean sheet today. To win this game. I don't think it's going to be like the Blackpool one where we have a shootout. I think it's going to be very tight, very cagey, very nervous affair right up until the end. Not only nervous in watching the game, but nervous in getting other results fed into you to see what's going on. Obviously, if it's a 0-0 at half place and Sunderland are winning, West Brom are winning, it's time to get going. You need to score, because it's not going to be good for us. Or then if we start hearing the goals coming in at Coventry for Middlesbrough, they start smashing Coventry 6-0, which they can do. They score for fun, Middlesbrough, so that's not beyond the realms of possibility. It could happen. So that we're 7th at home. They're pretty high at home, so I'm going to guess that they're lower than probably about 11th away, or 19th. So they're not very good away. They're not very good away. That's right at the bottom. Although they're only 6 points behind us, so they've scored 21 away goals in 22 games, conceded 32. They've won 6, drawn 5, and lost 11. So pretty similar to us, not that far behind, but very tight margin in terms of 6 points behind us, so 2 wins behind us. And that drops them right down at the bottom in terms of away form in this league. So yeah, let's go and see what those games were. So Millwall's last 6 home games, Blackburn's last 6 away games. So Millwall, Birmingham, we lost 1-0. Midweek game, not a good game, not a good result. Before that, we beat Preston 2-0. before that was a 0-0 against Luton. So in our last 4 home games, we failed to score 3 of them. That's not going to crack it today. We need to score because you need to win. So hello, let's get going. But we did keep 2 clean sheets in our last 6 home games. Okay. Pretty much a mixed bag for Millwall. I think that goes all the way back to March, obviously, because we're playing home and away games. But the last 6 home games, Norwich, and that was a shootout. We got the Swansea game. We lost to Huddersfield. That was horrible. They did a Millwall on us. Let's get on to Blackburn. So their last 6 away games: Preston 1-1, Huddersfield 2-2. So local derbies for them. They lost to Birmingham 1-0, just like we did. FA Cup, they lost to Sheffield United 3-2. That was the semi-final, I believe, was it not? Yes. Or the quarter-final, semi-final. They lost 3-2 away at Stoke, and they lost 2-1, or they beat Leicester 2-1 in the FA Cup. So in their last 6 away games, they have scored 2 goals in 4 of them. That cannot happen. That simply cannot happen. I think we need to keep a clean sheet, which they've only failed to score in 1 of their games, and that was against Birmingham. So I wonder what Birmingham did in that game to facilitate that. Okay. Here's the strengths and weaknesses. You can see we've got a lot more strengths, but we've got quite a few weaknesses as well. Here's the styles of play. Here is the match forecast. Millwall will score from a direct free kick. Millwall will dominate in the air. Millwall will control the game in positions half, and Blackburn will dominate possession. Okay. Let's move on now to this, which is the prediction from whoscores.com. Okay, here we go. What do they think? Here are the match facts first, which you haven't read yet. Blackburn have drawn 5 of the last 6 matches. Indeed, there have been under 2.5 goals scored in Blackburn's last 5 games in this championship, so that's home and away. Millwall has seen under 2.5 goals in their last 4 home matches against Blackburn in all competitions. So, like I said, it looks like it's going to be a tight, cagey affair. Not many goals in it. So here we go. Prediction. Millwall had Zion Fleming to thank last weekend in his late penalty, secured a 3-2 away win against Blackpool. With that result, Millwall's destiny is in their own hands, with a win on the final day enough to secure their place in the playoffs. Blackburn secured a valuable point late on in their game against Luton with Hayden Carter's late goal, levelling the scoreline in front of a hopeful Ewood Park crowd. Rovers can still finish in the top 6, but will need a win here and for results elsewhere to go their way. And they predict Millwall 1, Blackburn 1. So, yeah, that's us relying on other people. If that happens, that's not good for us. That is not good for us. Let's see what David Pratton of SkySports.com thinks. So Sky Sports Championship predictions: Coventry, Millwall, Sunderland, West Brom, Blackburn playoff tussle. We'll see that they're focusing on that because they're bigging it up. They've got the 3 games all live on Sky. So let's have a look and see what is happening. What's happening? 2 from 5, but who will make the playoffs? Indeed. First things first, let's deal with Coventry. They're in a pole position. No, just a point will be enough. And a side that seem to have already turned their attention to the playoffs. There is a subplot that this could very well be a playoff semi-final next week, so that's something for both sides to consider. Will Barrow want to lay down a marker and get a good result, or will Michael Carrick want to give a rest to some of his key men? We will see. With all that in mind, I think both teams would likely take a draw here to get through as many scathed as possible. That's as well. So if they both agree to let's not get silly here. If we play for a draw, we're already in. You get in. No hassle, no battle. You don't try, we don't try. The old Austria West Germany trick. They could stitch it up. Who knows? But then there is the melee for that other spot. Millwall in the driving seat, and no doubt I prefer to be playing against Blackburn side that nothing to play for, but their late point against like Luton in their last game means they're still with a shot. To be honest, I would rather play anyone but Blackburn because our record is fucking dog shit. Sunderland and West Brom would be lying in wait, hopefully Millwall slip up in the victory, see them claw their way into the top 6. It is so tough to call, but I do think that Millwall will be held by Blackburn, just as that feel for me. A result that will do nothing for either, and a potentially frantic final 15 as both push for the win. Despite the fact that Swansea have nothing left to play for, I think they have momentum, and I fancy them to actually beat West Brom. That leaves Sunderland with the chance to nip in above Millwall, and I just have an inkling that they could. So here we go. So for Millwall game, he as well predicts Millwall 1, Blackburn 1. And then he predicts for the other results that affect us, he predicts Middlesbrough 1, Coventry 1, Preston 1, Sunderland 2, and Swansea 2, West Brom 1, which of course would mean that Sunderland would go above us and get in the playoffs. And we will finish 7th, I believe. Again, that would be improvement. I would like to see Gary Rowett spin that after the game if that's a fact. Oh well, 7th, that's our best finish yet. Yeah, but it's not in the playoffs, is it? It's not in the playoffs. There's a dotted line in the league table. You finish above the line, you finish below the line. There's no we finished 7th. It's our best finish yet since I've been manager. Yeah, but you had many chances to get in the playoffs. You didn't. We could have wrapped this up a lot earlier. We didn't. We were on a shitless losing run. Where you thought about changing the formation but didn't bother until we actually needed to win a game. And then you thought, oh, well, fuck it, let me change the formation. So we'll see. But oh my god. Now I've got to make a prediction now, and so I want us to win. I hope that we do win. Obviously, I'm a Millwall fan. I want us to win. This game could go anyway. And all the other games could go anyway either. Except for I think pretty much a lot of people think Swansea or West Brom are not going to beat Swansea. Pretty much everyone's of that opinion. It might be a draw there, but certainly Swansea, West Brom, Swansea. I actually do think Middlesbrough will be Coventry. I don't think they're going to stitch the rest of us up and try to play for a draw. But it depends. Like they're not going to run it up. They're not going to bust the gut to get 4, 5, 6, 7, which would then help everyone else out. It'll be a comfortable win for Middlesbrough if they do win it. 2-0, 3-1, something like that. Coventry will try. Then if the harder they try, they'll open themselves up to a counter. And then they're going to be looking at goal difference thinking, let's just fucking lose 3-1. We can't be losing 4-1, 5-1, whatever. Then we definitely are out of the playoffs. Now coming to Millwall result. We need to keep a clean sheet in this game. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be really nervous. It's going to be alright again. And then you're going to be looking for Millwall to just open it up, get that goal, and just sit back and defend for their lives. Can we do that? It's not going to be a shootout like the Blackpool game. I probably think we can actually. I think it might be 1-0 or 2-0. I think if we can get that goal earlier on and then start defending, obviously they'll have to come out. And then we hit them on the counter. Maybe with some of the subs, Tyler Berry, Mason Bennett, Oliver Burke, a bit of pace once they have to start coming at us. So yeah. But I'm going to go for Millwall 1, Blackburn 0, because that's the result that we need. And I'm going to just say that and wish it into existence and hope that it comes true. But yeah, it could be anything. But yeah, Millwall 1, Blackburn 0. On that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.